Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover here today. So before we dive into these topics, if you end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. And if you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. We're starting here with something that was being reported on yesterday, and that is Sony working with Apple. It says here, being reported by Push Square, Sony has been working on making its PSVR 2 controllers compatible with the Apple Vision Pro VR headset. This is what a new report from Bloomberg states. It's claimed an agreement between the two companies is already in place and that the deal was actually supposed to be confirmed weeks ago, but the rollout has been postponed. The report goes on to suggest the endeavor has resulted in a month of work for Sony to get compatibility between the two devices up and running. On the other side, Apple has been reaching out to developers to see if it would be willing to update their games to support the PSVR 2 pads on Apple Vision Pro. As the article points out, one thing that Sony will need to rectify for this update is the fact its PSVR 2 controllers are not sold separately. You can only get them with a purchase of the PSVR 2 headset, so they would have to become a standalone accessory. So, yeah, this is something that was, like I said, being reported on yesterday, and it seems like Sony is going to be working a little bit more closely here with Apple when it comes to gaming. We know that the DualSense is featured, I believe, on Apple storefronts. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but I do know that the DualSense has been featured quite a few times within Apple's marketing when it comes to certain gaming related things. So, you know, Sony seems to be kind of taking that up a notch here, and yeah, as it points out here, this does mean they're going to have to sell the VR2 controllers separately, which is something that I think people will actually appreciate, because some people were kind of confused why Sony didn't do that from the start. We're going to move on to the next topic here, which is a brief update regarding PlayStation Studios and some talent kind of shuffling around here. Being reported by Gaming Bolt, it says in May last year, God of War Ragnarok Art director Raf Gassetti left SIE Santa Monica Studio after a decade with the team, and now he has joined another flagship first-party PlayStation studio. Taking to Twitter, Rossetti announced that he has joined Naughty Dog, the developer of the Uncharted and Last of Us games. Rossetti did not elaborate on what his role or position at the studio will be or what project he will be working on. At Santa Monica Studio, Rossetti also worked on God of War 2018, while prior to that, other roles at PlayStation had him involved with the development of the Order 1886, Killzone Shadowfall, and Infamous Second Son. So yeah, this is a senior developer and somebody who clearly is very talented and has done some really good work for many years across multiple PlayStation studios and projects. So I just wanted to give you guys this small update. The God of War Ragnarok art director is now part of Naughty Dog. Moving on to the next topic, we have a new report regarding GTA 6 and how it is already scaring publishers off. Being reported by WCCF Tech, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be among the biggest video game launches of all time, if not the biggest, and its release window, which is still up in the air, with a potential 2026 delay, is already influencing the video games industry as a whole. In a new report posted on Bloomberg today, it has been revealed the anticipation surrounding the game is so high that competing video game publishers are waiting as long as they can before committing to a fall 2025 release for any of their games, as they want to see if Grand Theft Auto 6 will indeed release next year or if it will slip into 2026, and want to launch the game as far away from it as possible. This is not surprising considering how analysts expect it to be the biggest entertainment launch of all time. And so I just wanted to kind of briefly acknowledge this, because it does kind of feel like a lot of developers, now that this report is coming up, have been holding off on saying anything about games that are targeting a fall 2025 release. It really does feel like at this moment in time, GTA 6 is like the only video game that has a release window of fall 2025. And the first game that actually kind of popped into my mind, believe it or not, when I read this was Death Stranding 2. The reason for that is because earlier this year, Hideo Kojima confirmed that they do have a release date ready to announce for the game. Like, they know when it's coming out, but for certain reasons, he wasn't able to announce the release date. And it does make me wonder if, like, Death Stranding 2, as of right now, internally at Sony, is targeting a fall 2025 release, but they're actually one of the publishers that's just waiting to see if GTA 6 is actually going to land at the time they're saying it is, so that way they can get Death Stranding 2 as far away as possible from GTA 6. Not that I think that there's much overlap there, but it doesn't really matter, right? Everything needs to get out of the way of GTA 6. So there you go. Wanted to give you that report. Moving on to the next topic, we have some stuff regarding the Game Awards. There are 2 big games confirmed to be shown at the Game Awards. Being reported by WCCF Tech, it says, following Randy Pitchford's social tease that the Borderlands 4 reveal would be coming soon, the official franchise page on X has now confirmed that the game will be shown at Jeff Keighley's Game Awards 2024 show. The tweet also boasts how it will be the franchise's most ambitious installment to date. Now, it was also confirmed that another one of their games for their 2025 lineup is going to be part of the Game Awards, that being Mafia: The Old Country, which was also announced at Gamescom 2024. It's being developed by Hangar 13, and it was confirmed it will be a prequel. So both Borderlands 4 and Mafia: The Old Country will have new trailers at the Game Awards, and I think that's actually pretty good. I think that these are 2 heavy hitter games that people are absolutely looking forward to seeing more of. So let me know if this gets you more excited to tune into the Game Awards. But continuing to talk about the Game Awards, it's been confirmed that Hideo Kojima will be part of it. The official Game Awards X account says Hideo Kojima live at the Game Awards next Thursday, and he is, as it says here, going to be a presenter. So it does seem obvious that Kojima is going to be showing more of one of his games. It could be something else, I guess, maybe another podcast, but no, I think it's safe to say it's going to be a game. The question is he going to be presenting more Death Stranding 2, or could he potentially be presenting the Xbox game OD? It feels like it's been a long time since we've heard about OD, so I could see that actually being the game, but who knows? Maybe he'll end up presenting both. I wouldn't be completely shocked if that's what ends up happening. Moving on to the next topic, though, we have some updates for 2 new free-to-play games that just dropped on PlayStation 5. One of them is a console exclusive, the other is not, but still seems to be having some type of partnership with Sony where they're having some PlayStation Plus exclusives. I'm talking about Infinity Nikki as well as Marvel Rivals. These 2 games are apparently doing very, very well out of the gate, where it's been revealed that both titles had over 10 million downloads and 10 million players in the first couple of days. And it's worth noting that both of these games are Chinese developed titles. And so, yeah, very, very different games. I would say there's really not much overlap here. If you look at Infinity Nikki and compare that to Marvel Rivals, yeah, there's really just there's no comparison between them. They're vastly different titles, but they're both finding very good success. And so I will ask you guys to let me know down in the comments below, have you played either Marvel Rivals or Infinity Nikki? If so, what are your thoughts on it? I will say that I've been hearing a little bit more about Marvel Rivals, and from what I gather, people are actually very impressed with Marvel Rivals, and I think it's one of these games that's actually going to be significantly more successful than people thought, and it's not just going to be driven by the fact that it's Marvel. It's actually being driven mostly by the fact that it's a really well-made hero shooter. So let me know down in the comments below. But moving on to the final topic of the video, we're talking about how PlayStation securing GTA 3 exclusivity was apparently driven by the release of Microsoft's Xbox. Coming from WCCF Tech, it says Sony's move to make a series of Grand Theft Auto entries as exclusive PlayStation titles was apparently influenced by the release of Microsoft's Xbox, reveals former PlayStation EU president. Rockstar's GTA series being exclusive to PlayStation wasn't just an unplanned move. According to an interview with Chris Deering via GamesIndustry.biz, a former PlayStation official, it is revealed that the franchise was purposefully limited to Sony's game console in an attempt to steer off interest in the upcoming Xbox release at that time. Deering says that folks at PlayStation were apparently worried about Microsoft's console, and the idea of making the Grand Theft Auto franchise exclusive popped up randomly. We were worried when we saw Xbox coming. We knew exclusivity was the name of the game in a lot of fields, like Sky TV with sports. Just as Christmas was approaching when Xbox would launch, a few of us went out to our favorite third-party publishers and developers, and we asked them, how would you like a special deal if you keep your next-gen game on PlayStation exclusive for a 2-year period? And one of the deals we made was with Take-Two and the next 3 Grand Theft Auto games. At the time, it wasn't clear that Grand Theft Auto 3 was going to be as huge as it was, because it used to be a top-down game. It was very lucky for us, and actually lucky for them, because they got a discount on the royalty they paid. Those deals are not uncommon in industries with platforms, including today with things like social media. So I thought this was some really interesting insight into some PlayStation history when it comes to exclusivity and deals. There's no denying that GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas were colossal for the PS2 and completely synonymous with it. And so to get a bit of like backstory on why Sony approached Take-Two Interactive and struck this deal, it was apparently because they were feeling worried about Xbox. And it's interesting because I feel like when we look back, considering the sales data, you would think Sony didn't feel any threat at all from Xbox, right? But they did. And so that's what kind of drove this type of deal to be made in the first place. And I also find it kind of interesting that he mentions that Take-Two Interactive ended up getting a really good deal as well, because they just Sony had no idea how big of a deal these 3 games were going to be for PlayStation, right? Just how big and successful they were going to be in general. So really interesting stuff there. But guys, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, be sure to leave it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.